I'm currently $36,000 in debt in my crypto portfolio. But the thing is, it's not the type of debt you would think, which is bad debt. It's good debt. It's debt that makes me more money and provides me with a safe amount of leverage that can be repaid at any time. Today, I'm going to break down exactly how I borrow capital like USDC against my blue chip assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe even Hype if you want to consider that one. Now, diving straight into it, in DeFi, which is this $88 billion industry where basically you can go and access a variety of different financial services without having to do all the KYC and stuff like that. But anyways, within this $88 billion DeFi industry, one of the financial services is a platform called Aave. And what they essentially allow you to do is stupid simple. People can go to Aave and they can lend out assets. So there is currently $5.2 billion of Ethereum supplied, $3.2 billion of wrapped EtherFi Ethereum, $3 billion of wrapped staked Ethereum, so on and so forth. But the point is, people are lending out these assets. And the reason why they're lending out these assets is for one of two reasons. Number one, they get paid a little bit of yield on these assets. So you get 1.55% on your Ethereum. If you lend out something like USDT, you're getting 3.6%. USDC at 4.25%, so on and so forth down the list. So you lend these assets out and you get paid for doing it. But the only reason why you get paid for doing it is because people are borrowing these assets. So essentially your assets go into a pool, and then from that pool, other people borrow those assets and they pay interest to borrow those assets. But here's the thing, those people cannot borrow assets unless they have collateral. How do you get collateral? Well, you lend out assets. So in other words, you have to essentially supply your Ethereum in order to be able to borrow. So in my case, I am borrowing $36,000 across multiple platforms. This is the main one, Aave V3 on the Ethereum network, where I'm borrowing about $31,000 and I'm paying about 3.82% per year to borrow that. But the thing is, in order to borrow this money right here, I had to put up collateral. Now I put up a ton of collateral because there is this thing called liquidation. And what happens is basically if this number goes down, the balance of your supply goes down and it gets super close to the number that you were borrowing, then ultimately it is like a margin call. It sells your supplied assets, your collateral, to be able to repay your borrow. But the thing is that happens when I hit 79% LTV. I'm at 24% right now, so I'm safe. But a lot of people don't understand why you would want to borrow stablecoins against your crypto when you have to put up your crypto as collateral either way. It seems stupid to borrow money, but I'm going to dive into that in just a second. But before I dive deeper, I'm going to cover a couple different strategies today that allow you to have all the upside to your crypto while generating cash flow right now, which means if Bitcoin goes 2, 3, 4x, you see all of that within your portfolio, but you also generate cash flow right now that you can put in your bank account immediately. And if you want to make sure that you are soaking in every last bit of piece of information that I have to offer, I have a free mini course that I'm going to link at the top of the description. It's going to walk you through our exact process that allows you to have the upside while also producing cash flow without having to worry about things like liquidation and permanent loss and many others. So again, it's a completely free course, shows you exactly how you would invest into these different types of positions, and the link is at the top of the description. Here's the thing that a lot of people don't get when it comes to borrowing against your crypto. There's this caveat that they have, or this thought where they're like, well, why borrow $30,000 of Go when I have, $130,000 that I'm supplying over here? Why not just use say 30 grand from the 130,000? Well, that's because then you would be selling your assets or you would be putting them at risk. I mean, for example, if I take Bitcoin and I take Ethereum and I park them into a liquidity pool, then ultimately I'm putting myself at risk of impermanent loss. Let's go and dive into this wrapped Bitcoin to Ethereum liquidity pool over here. If Bitcoin were to go to a price point of, let's just say $85,000, so it goes up at 8%, and then maybe Ethereum goes up 2%, right? Because Ethereum's lagging behind. What happens over here is I generate something called impermanent loss. In this case, it's $6. And I have to have fees. I have to have enough income from this actual liquidity position to be able to outweigh that. That's a problem, because markets, they go crazy, right? Ethereum might lag, Bitcoin might lag, something might happen, right? Or we might select the wrong range. Our range was too tight and it couldn't capture the price move, and now we're stuck out of range. There's all these things that you have to worry about, and you really have to worry about them because it's on your core collateral. It's on your core capital, right? The thing is, when you collateralize your assets and then you borrow against them, the money that you're putting into the liquidity pools over here is the money that you're borrowing. So instead of, say, being able to put $129,000 in these liquidity pools, you're putting something like $30,000. But the thing is, guess what happens? If we borrow $30,000 to put into a liquidity pool and Bitcoin were to go to $95,000, so it goes up 21%, maybe Ethereum goes up 4% or something like that. So we have a lot of impermanent loss, as you can clearly see over here. And of course, we're only generating $13 per day, so it's going to take a while to make up for that impermanent loss. But the point is, we don't have to look at it from that mindset anymore, because look at this. We now have $32,306. We borrowed $30,000. Now we have a little bit of interest. Let's say we have $681 of interest. Point is, we still have more money than what we borrowed plus the interest. We have right there about a $1,700 profit or so against our borrow. And as far as the upside goes, well, our core collateral has all of the upside right over here, right? Our Bitcoin went up 20% as collateral. Our Ethereum went up 4% as collateral. But what this establishes in your portfolio is a form of leverage. Because as I said earlier, if this balance starts to approach this borrow right over here, in other words, your LTV starts to reach the liquidation threshold, it will sell your collateral assets to repay your borrow, and you don't want that. Now, I don't want to be the guy on YouTube that tells you all these fancy things but doesn't actually outline the risk of doing this in your portfolio. So let me break down very clearly what the risks are. And the first one, as I said, is your liquidation. But the thing is, liquidation can happen in multiple ways. Liquidation can happen from your borrow increasing and your supply staying the same, right? Or even your supply increasing. Your borrow just is increasing at a faster pace. Liquidation can happen from your borrow staying the same and your supply going down, or even your borrow going down, but your supply going down at a faster pace. In other words, it happens at any point in time where you divide this number right here, the balance, by this supply right here, and that gives you your LTV percentage, how much you were actually borrowing compared to your collateral. And whenever that number is close to around 80% for most people is your liquidation. And again, it's going to depend on the assets that you are borrowing. Now, the risk here is not being able to repay the borrow. In other words, we're taking money that we're borrowing, debt, we're taking that debt and we're trying to make some money with it, right? In other words, we're parking it into liquidity pools, and ultimately, if the market does turn the other way, Bitcoin goes down, say 15%, Ethereum goes down 10%, well, now we have 26 grand, but we borrowed 30 grand. So you have to make sure that you have a strategy like we do at our consulting firm to mitigate this risk. One of the things that we have done basically the entirety of this year as the market has fell is we have ran strategic pools to buy assets on the way down. So, for example, let me take Ethereum to USDT and say Ethereum falls like 20%. Well, now we're sitting entirely in Ethereum. We have 12.59 Ethereum despite starting with only 5.68 and then the rest in USDT. What happens here is the USDT is basically dollar cost averaged into Ethereum because people are buying our USDT and giving us Ethereum. In other words, people are selling their Ethereum to the liquidity pool. Liquidity pool is us, which means that we're essentially buying it. But that's why Ethereum's going down, because they're selling it essentially. And when we look at how much money we have here, we have 25 grand, but we borrowed 30 grand. But the thing is, it's now dollar cost averaged into Ethereum. So if we hold this to our starting price, which our starting price is $24.75 per Ethereum, then ultimately we actually have $31,165 right there. We have more than what we started with, and that does not include any fees. So ultimately what we're doing here is we're leveraging the DCA from the liquidity pool to then essentially acquire assets at a lower price, get paid while we are acquiring those assets at a lower price, and then from there we're holding them to essentially our entry price or past that, and then we make more money. We lower our break-even price essentially. Again, one of the many strategies that you can do. So my point here is all the risk associated with lending and borrowing, the flywheel, are all mitigated. We have plans to attack each risk, right? And we run these with blue chip assets so we have the highest certainty in our portfolio, knowing that over time, over a long enough horizon, it will increase in value. So again, guys, if you are potentially interested in implementing this exact same strategy in your portfolio, I have a free mini course where I break it all down for you, breaks down exactly how you can implement this system in your portfolio as well. I hope to see you there. The link is going to be at the top of the description. And most importantly, that is for those people that want to just stop watching a bunch of YouTube videos, scrolling on X, reading the news, and actually implement, actually take action in their portfolio and do something about it today. Because the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So get after it. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, notifications turned on. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.